direction right quick. And I wasn't planning to do this before today, to be honest with you, but y'all heard what's going on with Mark Cuban in his decision not to go with the national anthem. Now, at first he said that he was going to move away from it. He's been saying that like since last season. But the thing is, like, because he had apparently like he asked for the Commissioner Adam Silver's blessing, and Adam was like, "Hey, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it." And it turns out that I guess when it hit the news cycle late last night, and early today, he came around, turned around, and said that it's going to be a trial run, whatever that means. So I'm of two minds here. For one, I'm old enough to remember where they didn't really play the national anthem at games, only at the Super Bowls, only the national championships. It wasn't really a thing until the NFL got in bed with the military, and as far as that in that case, and the NBA, I don't know if they did the same thing, but the NBA, we didn't really know about until the guy formerly known as Chris Jackson refused to stand back in the 90s. That's when we started to know about it. But to me, the national anthem, guys, means different things to different people. You know, I love this country. I know you two brothers love this country. But let's be real. And I think we're sharing a brain on this. The national anthem doesn't mean the same to me as much as I love this country as it does to my white neighbor. And that's just being honest. I've never been the type to, I take my hat off, but I usually just look down or look up. I rarely put my hand over my heart. And that's because of my own experiences. You know, I integrated a white neighborhood when we moved down from Brooklyn, New York, experienced all types of drama there. And my dad grew up he grew up in the Jim Crow South when it was during the turn of the Civil Rights Movement. So the Civil Rights Movement. My mother's from the North. So I have a different perspective than my white brother and sister. And I'm just being real about that. I'm sure you guys feel similar. I know many Black people and other people of color, particularly Latinos, Latinas, Native Americans especially, they have different feelings about it. So to me, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they stopped doing the national anthem. And let's be real about one more thing. When was the last, you guys been to games, so when was the last time, if you're getting popcorn, you taking a piss doing the national anthem, and of course, you can hear, they pipe the sound out to the concessions and to the bathrooms. So it's not like you don't know. I don't know if it's different now, but the years I've spent going to games, live sporting events, college, pro, whatever, I've yet to see people in the bathroom stop taking a piss, put their hand on their heart, and take their hat off. I've yet to hear people straining from holding the shit in doing the national anthem or standing up on the toilet seat.
I knew it was
doing the national anthem. I've yet to see people talk in the bathroom. I've yet to get drunk. I've yet to see those drunk people stop talking about each other's teams and put their hand over their heart, take off their hat, and do an national anthem. I've yet to see people at concession stands stop buying beer and say, wait a minute. I've yet to see that. I've yet to see people put their hot dogs down and overpriced French fries down, put their hand over their heart. You see what I'm getting at. To the point is, I think it's hypocritical for people to get up in arms about this stuff, about the anthem, and I can take it a couple steps further. I've yet to see people in sports bars stop what they're doing, stand up, or left hand over heart, and do that. I've yet to see people at Super Bowl parties do the same thing. I've yet to see any of that shit happen. And I've been going to games and going to Super Bowl parties for at least the last 10 plus years. I've yet to see that. So to me, the whole thing is hypocritical. I think it's a waste. It's like, why? I don't think people will get up in arms. I mean, hell, we stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance and having references to God in elementary schools. And last I checked, they still go to class. Mm-hmm. they still take the school bus to school. They still reading announcements in homeroom and go to lunch and go to recess and go home. So I'll say all that crap to say this. I think it's a much ado about nothing. I don't think that's big of a deal. If people, if all of a sudden the NBA and NFL, Major League Baseball and the like decide, you know what, we're not going to do this shit anymore. It's too controversial. It's not a big deal anyway. Let's just move on. I think a lot of the outrage is just ridiculous because again, you've been to any sporting event, been to a sports bar, have you been to Super Bowl parties? Did they really stop what they're doing during the national anthem? No.
It's rare. It is very rare.
The ones I've been to, they don't. And this is a mixture of white, black, and any type of ethnicity or creed or whatever. So, yeah.
I'll say this real quick. Yeah. I've been a lot more cognizant of what's been going on during the national anthem, of course, since the Colin Kaepernick kneeling incidents, right? And I've started to notice people who, oddly enough, in the concession area that will stop and take their hat off, right? But it's few and far between. I would say probably like maybe 2 people out of everybody that's out there in that section might do it, right? Mm-hmm. And to your point, yeah, you're better than me. I might not take my hat off. I'll stay seated. And I'll say this, like, I don't want how I feel about the country to rub off on my son. And with him being in the military now, he's probably going to be a little bit more militant. Sorry for the lack of a better term in terms of how he treats the national anthem. Sure. But, because I wanted his thoughts about the country to be his and not based on mine. Right. So whenever he would ask me or whatever, I would tell him. I wouldn't tell him not to stand or tell him not to do certain things. But yeah, I just noticed that, God, the obsession about what happens to the national anthem over the past couple of years has just been so crazy to me. I wish they would have focused on the issues and the problems that cause us not to want to stand during the national anthem as much as they are concerned about us not standing for it. You know what? If you were to focus your attention on why we're not standing, we probably would stand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you go ahead and show us love, if you respect us, the same people who we've been considered to be 3/5 of a man, maybe we would go ahead and stand up during the national anthem, dude.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Just a matter of acknowledgement. I mean, and that's one of many examples. Again, three of us, we love this country. It's the best country in the world. We travel, so we know that for a fact. I'm just saying it means different things to different people, and that's just being real.
It does. But yeah, dude, just focus on that stuff more than you focus on us not standing. And then I'll say this too, because I thought it was interesting. Scott, I don't know if you noticed it because I didn't hear you bring it up. Mm-hmm. But the NBA did come out with a statement today saying that, they're going to go ahead and mandate that all of the teams do play the national anthem before every game.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they went ahead and made an announcement today.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Being based on a long-standing policy that they're going to
from the David Stern era, from the David Stern.
Yeah, that they're going to go ahead and mandate that all teams do this, and that's why I keep telling people, who believe that the NBA is better than the NFL. I'm like, but by how much? Right. I mean, yes, I get it. The owners are are leaps and bounds more progressive in the NBA than they are in the NFL. Yes, I get that. But when you talk about the league itself, based upon how they handle this stuff, the NBA, they do things in a nicer way. They do it Goodell just don't care. Goodell is just this blunt dude that says, hey, it's going to be my way. I'm doing what I can to protect this to protect this shield, and I'll die on this shield before I allow the integrity of this league to go down. Yeah. And that's based upon what I feel as though the integrity of this league is. And for them, of course, that includes the national anthem, unfortunately, to a certain degree, because, of course, now with certain things and the climate moving the way that it has, they started to waver on that a little bit, even though, of course, certain ownership still doesn't necessarily care. But this is just more evidence that, this long-standing policy, which could be changed, was the line from coming to America.
Which one?
The one, it's something to the effect of who are you to not be able to change the laws? You're the king.
Right.
So, dude, you're the commissioner. If you want to change this long-standing policy that's potentially an issue within the league, change it. You're the commissioner, dude.
Right.
You can do it. You have the power to do it. Or you can go ahead and talk to the other owners in the league and get it done. Don't go ahead and fall back on this thing. It's a cop-out to me to say, it's a policy. It's a long-standing policy of the league. We can't change it. Hey, if you really want to change it, you can go ahead and change it. So if you want to have that conversation, have that conversation, because it looks like your boy Mark Cuban wants to have it.
Yeah. Well, who are your thoughts, Rashad?
Quite simply for me, guys, it's hard for me to stand for an anthem living in a country where I know I have to have conversations with my 8-year-old son and soon to be with my 6-month-old, in a few years, about how to govern themselves outside, of my house, and how to govern themselves in society and not worry about whether you get home or not if you're driving in the car, to have to have conversations with them about what to play with and what not to play with, because you can't play with this toy gun because it might look like a real gun and you might be, it might be mistaken, and next thing you know, you're on the news because you lost your life. This is just living in a society like this where it's so hard for Black and brown boys and just people of color in general. It's hard to. I try my best to be patriotic, and like you said, I love our country, but I'm with you guys. It's tough just knowing that we're still not given and afforded the rights that we deserve, and we've spent so many years fighting for, just to be equals in this country. Yeah. And the country still hasn't lived up to that. So again, as much as I want to, it's tough. I myself, honestly speaking, there's times when I'm at a ball game and it comes on and I'm thinking, should I stand or should I not? Mm-hmm. Like, should I really do it? And times I'm like, I don't care, because what's happening in the country ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And then there's other times, but yeah. That's my perspective on it. Just real quick with Mark Cuban. Yes. I'm not surprised though, because he's been known to kind of, push the envelope a little bit and be different. When you think about the makeup of his team, not just minorities, but just international players. Yeah. You might have both in the league. When you think about Doncic and Porzingis and bringing in other backgrounds, some minorities, but he's different, and he seemed to be brash when it comes to that. So I'm not surprised. I'm actually with him on that stance. As Dwayne said, I mean, just looking at where the league is headed with this, they're going back and, kind of siding on history. This is what we've done for so long. And because it's
right, we've been doing it this way. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And that just goes back to owners and what they feel is correct and what they want to do because they hold the power. But and I agree with him. It's not much better than the NFL. Maybe a little more progressive, maybe a little more leeway in terms of player contracts and, affording players.
It's more of a players league, yes.
Right, but it's the same thing. Rich white billionaire owners who, at the end of the day, kind of want things their way, and kind of have the power to control those policies. And so that's my take on it.
Well, right quick, I was thinking about this, Dwayne, and you too, Rashad. We mentioned your sons. Like I said, my son turned 11 last month, and so my wife is more militant about it than I am. But the thing is that she's very liberal about it. But the thing is that we tell our son, like when we go to FC Cincinnati games or wherever, he says, stand up and put your hand over your heart, because we got to set the example, right? We don't want to impose our views on him. Now, I think if he's anything like me and see he's been noticing how things. He goes to private school, for crying out loud. So he sees stuff. He knows what's going on. He has 2 eyes. He's very intelligent. He's an intelligent young man. So he's going to do his own thing anyway. I just want we want him to have his own thoughts. So that's why we set the example. Hey, just put your hand over your heart, right, left hand, whatever. I forget which one. But put your hand over your heart, take your hat off, stand with respect. Now, if he was to say, you know what, Dad, I don't want to, Daddy, I don't feel comfortable standing. You know what? I will either put my arm around them or I'll sit with them. I'm 6'4". No one's going to say much to me. I'm not worried about me. As long as I'm just worried about him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. But
yeah, because Bammers will come out of pocket at sporting events, dude.
Yeah.
I've unfortunately heard about times where young kids have been told to perform sexual acts because they're wearing the T-shirt of another team. But I digress. But yeah, exactly. And I applaud you for that. To allow him to understand from his own perspective and allow him to make his own decision that way.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say. But I think we're all in agreement here. Look, it wouldn't hurt our feelings. Sounds like if they took away the national anthem at games, you know, life goes on. I could give a damn either way. If they want to have it, cool. If they don't want to have it, cool. I don't care. Again, because it's like people who get all up in arms, I think a lot of, not all, I think some are sincere about it. But I think a lot of them are hypocritical because those are the same people you see at Super Bowl parties, going to the games, whether it be in the bathroom, buying beer, getting drunk at tailgate. They're not standing at the attention when the anthem's going on. If they're doing all of those things, they're still eating, they're still talking shit, they're still taking the shit, they're doing whatever. They're not doing anything. And that's fine. I'm not criticizing them for that. Because most of us don't. Outside of a sport, outside the stadium, outside of if you're in the arena itself, if you're at your seats. I don't have a problem either way. But I just think it's pseudo patriotism for people who get up in arms for many people, because I think the whole thing is I think a lot of them are just being hypocritical based upon those things.
All right, can I say this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Yeah,
one of that quick little piece. It's for me, it's never been a disrespect to the flag. People try to make it that. There's been people, white, black, Latino, who fought for this country and have shed blood, and many of them paid the ultimate price, giving their life. And so I always salute those people who have served our country and have served us proudly, have risked their life. It's more so us being able to get our rights in this country and just being treated fairly and being treated like, with the utmost respect that a citizen deserves. That's the biggest thing. It's hard to do those things for your country when you're not treated fairly and you're being mistreated in your own country. And so that's what it's always been for me. I just want to see my people get their fair treatment. That's all. Right.
That's all we ask. Just equal treatment. No more, no less.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Those are the military that defend us, that understand that that's exactly what they're fighting for. They're fighting for our freedom to be critical of things that happen here. That's part of being free, to be able to do that, right?
Have the discussions that we're having now. Freedom of speech.
Yes. Without retribution.
All of the things that we're supposed to be able to be free to do, that's what they're fighting for, to continue to defend that, or so we're told, right? So for those that understand that, they understand the entire situation, and they don't begrudge those that choose to do what they do during the national anthem, because they know it's not disrespectful to the country. It's more so disrespectful to the conditions that are going on here. And like I said before, if they were to focus more so on what happens to us, as opposed to what is happening during that 1 minute and 16 seconds, then maybe things will be a lot better in terms of us standing for the national anthem.
Great discussion, fellas. Great discussion. Again, I came this close to not having it because of when it happened with Mark Cuban, but I've been down to have this type of discussion for a long time with y'all anyway, but this is a great discussion. I know we're going to have many discussions in the future because we ain't done with this shit. So I'm glad. I'm happy for this discussion. Great discussion. I'm proud of all y'all for doing so. So we'll close the show on this.